That mindset is why we went into captivity. I'm going to do what the hell I want to do anyway. All right. Sis, let it breathe. Put a dress on and let it breathe.
Right. That's right.
It's worse than the pain.
Right.
You said you're going to do it anyway. Let's find out if God hears your prayers. Read.
Now we know that God hears not sinners, but if any man
I am not going to let no man look at me with my
be a worshiper of God and do His will, He heareth.
Sis, right, you don't wear, look, sis, listen, you don't wear a tight dress, you do it modestly. Annie, did you hear that? God said with that mindset, I'm going to do it anyway, and you being in sin, He said He's not hearing your prayers. That's why we go through what we go through now, sis.
Right.
The death and destruction in our community is because of that mindset.
That's right.
And that sis said good. Oh, wow, sis. Sis. That's why you shouldn't wear tight pants. Because those perverts are looking at your butt.
That's right.
They're looking at that print in the front. You're giving those perverts something to look at.
That's why the Bible is redundant. The Lord says things over and over because we're stiff-necked, hard-headed people.
Calm down and listen to one another. And more importantly, listen to this Bible. Right? Okay, watch this.
But in this last day, the Most High is raising up the true prophets of God.
All great. All great.
We're going to find out what the way is. Remember, the Bible is also a vocabulary book.
That's the question I'm asking. If Asian is so great, like the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that have God so nigh unto them.
The laws of God is the light that we got to let shine before men.
All right, so I'm going to address that. I'm going to read this. I'm going to give you this unequivocal evidence that we know we're the Israelites. Then let's deal with that. Let's deal with you praying and how you should conduct yourself at your job. Read verse 32.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
All praises. Hey, you want to sit those bags inside that bag so you're not holding those bags? No, you should put those small bags inside there so you're not holding them. Okay. I just don't want you to know. I don't want y'all to get tired. So look, it said our sons and our daughters will be taken from us and given to another people. When we went into slavery, they took our sons and daughters from us. Am I right? They're still doing it today. How are they taking our sons and daughters today? Modern day slavery is the prison pipeline. You do understand that the private prison industry are owned by the same people that own the music and the television industry. They have to keep those prisons filled to 90% capacity. So how do you do that? If you own the music industry, you then set up musicians that do what? Teach you that it's okay to sell drugs. Portray that it's okay to rob, steal, and shoot your neighbor. Right. And then those same people that approve that music, that'll snatch somebody like Tekashi 6ix9ine off the street, or Lil Baby or Lil Durk, and tell them, make sure you rap about bad bees, hoes, taking a bunch of drugs that they don't even tell you they don't even take. Keep rapping about that. So our young brothers go out and do that, mimic that, so we can put them back into slavery. So we can take them from their fathers and their mothers.
Take everything from them.
Exactly. They take our daughters and sons from us. You got to think about that. The same people that are responsible for everything you view and listen to own the prisons. They own 100% of the prisons. And they get money off of the cheap labor in the prisons. They pay them grab 6 cents a day. They sit there, and the sisters, while they in there making clothes, doing free labor for the state. The Constitution says that you're free unless you go to jail. You are then property of the state again. You're a slave again. If I own the prisons, how do I get people in here? And I own 100% of the music. I put it in the music. I put it in the movies. Our brothers right here, right now, and the way they dress and act, they're mimicking what they see and hear on TV. Their mind is based off of television and radio. So everything that they're being fed is meant to do what? Put them in prison. Put them back in slavery. For them to be taken from us. I got sons and daughters too. The world is actively trying to take them from us. The Bible just said that will happen. Verse 68, let's get to it. Matter of fact, verse 46. 46. Give me 46. These curses serve a purpose. You ain't here to punish us. You got kids. Your kids acted up, you punish them because you what? Because you love them, right? And you wanted to correct their behavior. So if we're God's children, shouldn't he punish us to correct his behavior, to correct our behavior? We should be punished. That's showing love. If you didn't love your kids, you let them do whatever the hell that you want. Like, I hope, hey, go play in traffic somewhere, get out my face. I don't care what you become, because I don't love you. Unfortunately, we have parents out there like that. Let their kids run the streets all night long, don't know where they at or what they doing, because they don't love them. Them parents that love their kids, they whooping their tail. Right. They punishing them. They taking that PlayStation away, their cell phone, that tablet. And you want to take it to the next level where we need to take it to? They're teaching them God's laws.
That's right.
I love you. Not only do I not want to see you giving it to another people, I want to see you get the kingdom. I don't want to see you die. You're going to die on earth, but once Christ returns, he's putting spirits to death. Remember, the Bible says, fear the man that can kill the spirit, not the body. Because your spirit, as long as the Most High wills it, it's going to keep going. It's going to be here again and again, and only he can destroy your spirit. Right. You don't want that to happen to people you love. When I see my people, I love my people out here. Contrary to popular belief, because they're going to say, oh, you're judging us, you're yelling, you got that mic, you're trying to tell us to change. That is love. Right. Saying, brother, sister, you in sin. Right. The way you are living right now is sinful and God hates it. That's love. Because I want you to get the kingdom. I want to see our people and our nation rise up again. That's right. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
The they that verse is talking about in context is the curses. So they're going to be on us for a sign and a wonder. How do we know the difference between the laundromat and the food market? The signs. How do the Israelites know who they are? The curses. Exactly. There you go. You got it. That's right. You got it. Read.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
Why did he have to give us that? Because remember in verse 32 we just said we would be given unto another people. When we went into captivity, how do you break a people? If you allow a people while they're captive to keep their language, they can whisper and plot against you. If you allow them to keep their heritage and their nationality, they're going to know there's a difference between themselves and you. They're going to revolt. So how do you acclimate a people into being captive? You strip their language from them, their heritage, and you teach them to be like you. So that way they think that they're you, they won't ever leave. Right. They won't ever leave. We never want to leave America. We want to stay here. We not only do we not want to leave, we say we're American.
Right.
We're African American. We don't never want to leave. We destroy. Just post up as a people. We got to get out of here. First, we have to free our minds. You just learned today that you have a nationality. Because you walked up and said, I don't got no nationality. And you learned that you know your nationality because of the curses. Because they are for a sign. We need them as a sign because we will forget. Read.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart.
Because we don't like to keep the commandments. We didn't do it with joy. You have to love keeping these commandments. Like sister, I told you, we get there.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart.
I just want you to hold on to that thought in your head because we're going to go somewhere. With joyfulness and gladness of heart, you have to be happy to do these commandments. Read.
For the abundance of all things, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Once again, God said if you don't, you're going to have to serve your enemies. We have enemies. And how do we serve our enemies? Read.
In hunger and in thirst.
Stop. As a nation of people, do we control the food industry? No. That's controlled by who? Who runs the food industry? Who owns Giant and Safeway and the distribution trucks? What's going on, family? And the distribution trucks, the farms. Because you'll say, okay, some black people got farms. What's that term for those farmers again? The ones that were given the farms, but they had to pay the money back. Sharecroppers. That's one of the worst things you can get into. Because they'll give you money to get a farm, but you can never pay that money back. So guess what? You never own a farm. All sharecroppers are so-called black men. That's a system set up. It's crafty slavery. Who do we have to go to if we want food? Say it. What nation of people? You can say it. Thank you. Come on, there was a time where we were not afraid as a people to say, and who's the government run by? It ain't you. It ain't our people. The Caucasians. If you want something to eat, or the other nations, who's running that carryout right now? In Baltimore is either going to be an Arab, which is Ishmael, that's a nation of the Bible, or Moab, Chinese person. You go down Lexington Market, who has almost every stand down there? China, you have to go to them for food. They come open up, they've been doing that since biblical times. Arabs and the Chinese, or the Moabites and the Ishmaelites, have been doing that since beginning of time, opening up shops among the Israelites, dwelling amongst the Israelites, being crafty towards them. Exactly. This is a black city. Why aren't there black-owned businesses? Why don't we have black supermarkets? Because they would shut it down. If we had black food distribution, they would shut it down. They set it on fire, kill the workers, and make you go back to them because it's a curse. Read.
Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst.
Water falls free out of the sky. But if you don't pay your water bill, Baltimore City is going to turn your water off. I know I'm a plumber. You call me like, could you cut my water back on for me? I'm like, no, sis, I need a permit to do that. I got to go ask the white man, can I cut your water back on for you? You know, I have the tool to do it right here, right now. If you want a bottled water, if you want some Hennessy, in thirst, whatever you thirst for, you have to go to who? The other nations. God called them, he said we have to serve our what? What did God call them at first? At the top of that, he said serve your what? Did he say masters? Did he say friends? No. Read it from the top again.
Verse 48, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
You're who? What did he call the other nations? Your enemies. Don't be afraid of it just because you know. Hey, look, I know some nice white people. I know some cool Arab people. But they don't have my best interest at heart. At the end of the day, they don't give a damn about you.
That's right. No, they don't.
When the proverbial shit hits the fan, they're going to run back to their people.
Right.
They're going to leave you high and dry. They are your enemies. Those people that carry out don't give a damn what they sell you. You have no idea what's in that damn food. And they're dropping on the floor. They probably don't wash the dishes. Trust me, I work doing what I do for a living. They'll hire me to come in, fix the sinks, install a stove. I've seen it. They'll serve you anything. Raise the prices on everything. Only in the black community will you find a store run by Chinese people that tell you you have to spend $5 or more just to use your debit card. That is against the law. You do understand that? When you see that sign, we have a $10 minimum. That is against the law. They don't give a damn about you. They're going to do it anyway. They won't get their shops inspected because their stuff is dirty, but they'll sell it to you because they don't give a damn about you. Read.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
So since anything we want, we have to serve our enemies. Everything down to our nationality. They came up with those terms, black, Negro. Jesse Jackson came up with African American, but he had the mind of a white man when he said it. If you want religion, you have to serve your enemies. They gave you an image. That's not even in the Bible. Is this in the Bible? No. Do you know what Christ looks like? According to the Bible? You don't know?
No.
Good. That's we can get off of this, right? Because you know the curses. Now you know, without a shadow of a doubt, okay, that you're an Israelite. Right? And how do you know? According to what? We're reading according to what would be a sign? The what? The curses, right? Yeah, you got it at 68. According to the curses. Finish that and then jump to 16.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
All praises. Who are the only people in history to have yokes of iron on their neck? He said he would put a yoke of iron on your neck until he destroyed you. How are we destroyed? The chains came off our ankles and our necks and our wrists, but they're still on our minds.
Right.
If you celebrate your birthday, you are still a slave.
Right.
You still have a slave mind. If you keep Christmas, you have a slave mind. If you keep Thanksgiving and Easter, you have a slave mind.
Right.
If you call yourself black, Negro, African American, thot, gangster, real nigga, you have a slave mind.
That's right. Thank you, big fella.
We're destroyed. We have no idea who we are.
Right.
You said it. You were evidence. I don't have a nation. I bet you never say that again, will you? What's your nation? Israelite. Thank you, sister.
That's right.
That's right. I told you would leave from here with your head up high. Give me verse 68.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Remember, he took the Israelites out of Egypt. They never went back into physical Egypt. But Egypt just means slavery. You don't have to get the precept. It means slavery. That land was called Mizraim. Before that, it was Kemet. Egypt is a Greek word for slavery or bondage. So he said, the Lord is going to bring you into slavery again. When you read the Bible, the Israelites went into slavery in Egypt, got saved by Moses. They broke God's laws. They went to slavery under the Assyrians, got delivered. Went to slavery under the Babylonians, got delivered. Then the Persians, then got delivered. Then the Greeks, then got delivered. Then the Romans got delivered. Then again in America. And if you keep God's laws, he's going to deliver us again.
That's right.
The Israelites always went into slavery for breaking God's laws. Because remember, he said, if we do what he's supposed to, we put above all people. So for breaking his laws, we're put under people. They rule over us. So, he said we were going to slavery again. How?
With ships.
How did we get here to America? How? Yes, this side. How? Cargo slave ships. How did our brothers that were the Moorish people, or the Israelites that were running Spain, how did they get brought into captivity in America and in the Caribbean? Ships. How did the Native Americans and the so-called Hispanics go into slavery? Ships. The Spaniards came over here because they were here in this country first. They were, you know them as the Aztecs, or the Mayans, or the Incas. The Spaniards came over here, took them back to Spain, shipped them all over the world. They were modern commodity, and then brought them back, and now they speak Spanish. They were speaking Hebrew before they left, but they speak Spanish now because the Spaniards put them into slavery on ships. Those are our people too. Because in every ghetto you're gonna find black people. Who else you gonna find there? Should be some Hispanics there too. Those are your brothers and sisters. They the same people. They just got a different language because they had a different slave master. We speak the language of our slave masters. That's it. Our brothers and sisters that are still on the west coast in the south of Africa speak French because they were taken into slavery by French. Or they're British because of the Brits. You speak the language of your slave masters because you're now assimilated. That's why when you take them chains off, like they ain't gonna run, they ain't going nowhere. They still enslaved here. Read.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again.
How about Jerusalem? Read.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
So what happened when we got off those ships? Did we have a party when we got sold? Auction blocks. Where is it? It's right here. Look. Look right here. That's us on auction blocks being sold unto who? What did God call them? Did he call them our friends? Anna, what did he call them? What did God call them? Our enemies. That didn't change. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. We're still in our captivity to this day. Anytime you have to pay taxes, you're in captivity. Now, I know what you're gonna say, Officer Nick, but white people pay taxes too. But they benefit from those taxes.
Right.
They're paid to their people.
Right.
For them to store that money up. Right now, let me put this back down, big bro. Right now, if they wanted to break off and say, you know what? Okay. Since you so-called black people don't want to be in slavery no more, since y'all want to listen to those Israelites, we'll let you go. We won't have anything. If they want to split up right now, they'd have all the resources and all our tax money they collected. You're like, well, give us our tax money back. They turn rifles on you like, well, take it. If you don't like it, take it from us. We ain't got no military. We got to pay tax and tribute to a nation that doesn't give a damn about us. We're the only people on the planet that went into slavery on ships. That's how we know we're the what? Who are we, Anna? What's our nationality? We're the what? And we know because of the curses, right? So, you've been sitting up here, I'm about to ask you a rhetorical question. Because you got a spirit that's willing to listen. And that loves the Bible. And that loves God, right? So you love God. How do you love God? Not asking you how personally, like what do you do? But I mean, I guess I am, but if you had to show me how to love God, how would you teach me how to love God? Okay, I'll take that. What you say? Show me how to love God. How? What do I have to do? My brother right there in the spirit. Hey, bro, you've obviously heard this before, right? So have you been keeping the commandments? If you haven't, you don't love God, right? Exactly, because if you got kids that don't do a damn thing you say, or if you don't do anything to take care of your kids, you don't feed, clothe them, nurse them back to health when they're sick, you don't love them. You can't not do something and tell, how can I state this? Sorry, I'm jumbling my words up. You can't be a hypocrite. You can't say, I love you, but don't ever show it. Right. So that would make love an action word, right? Love is a verb. It's not a feeling. That feeling you get comes from actions. I have to give you flowers to give you that feeling that, oh, he loved me. I have to, hey, look, come to your job and bring you lunch. They're like, you know what? If I bring my wife lunch, when I do bring her lunch at work, when she was going to work before COVID, she would walk away like, oh, he loved me. Because it was an action. Oh, he took time out of his day to have lunch with me. It's an action. If I never did anything like, hey, yeah, I love you, she wouldn't believe me, right? You got me in John? How do we love God? Let's get it out of the Bible. Read.
1 John chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
What part of the Bible are we in? This is so-called New Testament, right? This is after Christ came. So the Bible is still saying keep the commandments. The church tells exactly, but that's not what they teach in the churches. They let you come in there in sin, and you can leave in sin, as long as you pay that money.
With an ATM machine.
So, remember, if you love God, you keep his commandments, and his commandments, Deuteronomy 20:25, and his commandments on hard, right? We read in Deuteronomy 28 that you have to keep his commandments with joyfulness and gladness, right? Right? So, you love God, right? And I showed you how by keeping his commandments. I'm going to give you a commandment. If you don't agree with it, you don't agree with God, right? And it's grievous to you. And you're not doing it with joy. You're not taking it joyfully, which the Bible commanded us to do. So I'm going to read a commandment. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
So it said men should wear woman's garments. What's a woman's garment that if I had on right now, you would think something was funny with me? A dress. A dress. Look at this. This is doing slavery, right? Look down here. Our sisters in the cotton field, what are they wearing? Dresses. When did women start wearing pants? That was part of a feminist movement by a lesbian white woman. Before then, our women knew to wear dresses. Your grandmother, I bet she never wore pants a day in her life.
Never.
Your mother probably never wore pants a day in her life.
Never.
She has? Americanized. Grandmother didn't do it, right? So the Bible said a woman shouldn't wear a man's garment. What's a man's garment that women shouldn't be wearing? Pants. That's simple.
Sister said she won't wear them anyway.
Give me John 9, because she said she prayed. So you don't love God. You want to read. That mindset is why we went into captivity. I'm going to do what the hell I want to do anyway. All right. Sis, let it breathe. Put a dress on and let it breathe.
Hey, that's right.
It's worse than the pants.
That is sweat.
Read. You say you pray to God. We just read it. That was a sin. Read.
The book of John, chapter 9, verse 31.
Hold on, Anna. You said, hold on, Anna. Anna, you said you pray to God, right? Anna, you said you pray to God, you love him. Does he? We just read it. You wearing pants is a sin.
I wear pants at work. I can't change that either.
Well, look, we got sisters that if they have jobs like in security, they'll wear them to work, but as soon as they get off work, they put a dress on. You said you're going to do it anyway. Let's find out if God hears your prayers. Read.
Now we know that God heareth not sinners, but if any man be a worshiper of God and doeth his will, him he heareth.
Anna, did you hear that? God said with that mindset, I'm going to do it anyway. When you being in sin, he said he's down here your prayers. But when you get off of work, guess what you should do? You should take it off. Put a dress on, sis. You said that mindset. Give me 2 Ezra 15:26. You said she's not going to do it. You are part of the reason we went into captivity.
That's right.
So you don't have enough for your people.
I'm not going to let no man look at me with my
Sis, I'm not, right, you don't wear, look, sis, listen, you don't wear a tight dress, you do it modestly. Read.
2 Esdras chapter 15, verse 26. For the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him.
The Lord knows you, and he heard you say you're going to do what you want to do anyway. Read.
And therefore deliver he them unto death and destruction.
That's why we go through what we go through now, sis.
Right.
The death and destruction in our community is because of that mindset.
That's right.
And that sis said good. Oh, wow, sis. Sis, That's why you shouldn't wear tight pants. Because those perverts are looking at your butt. They looking at that print in the front. You're giving those perverts something to look at. That is the problem with our people now.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.